Our next speaker is Ross House. Ross is from Lafayette, Indiana, which is, as he puts it, God's country. And he is currently majoring in ag business, and he's planning on raising cattle and selling seed. So let's welcome Ross.
Like she said, I'm involved in the agricultural industry, and I've been raised in a 6th-generation farm. I'm a 10-year 4-H member, and I've came here to ICC not only to be on the livestock judging team, but to further my education in this field. But I want to step back, and I want everyone to relate to something. And let's all go back to our childhood. And we all went to the grocery store with our mom. Of course we did. We went in the cart, went up and down the aisles. Mom, I want those Cheetos. Mom, I want the Ho-Hos. Mom, I want this, I want this. And then eventually, she took you out of the cart, partially because you were being annoyed, and because it's getting full. And then you go home, and you make a big meal, and you sit around the table with your family, and of course there's leftovers, so what do? You put them in the fridge for later. Now this certainly sounds like the perfect episode of Brady Bunch, but what if I tell you that this will never happen again? Now I want you to imagine the same store, but with empty shelves. Your mom arrives. This time, she locks you in the car. She rushes in, she goes and tries to get a can of corn, but there's only one. Then she rushes over and hurries to the butcher's counter, but you took the last slice of ham. And she reluctantly goes to the cashier to check out, and she finds that that barely filled cart costs as much, if not even more, than the full carts that we were used to. Now I'm here to say, as an agriculturalist, there's a flaw. There's a problem. There's such an explosion waiting to happen, and all of our hands are on the trigger because it's us. It is we as a people, we as a human race. And it goes down to the basic food chain. Species are allowed to grow based off of their resources. When those resources deplenish, species die off. When those resources replenish, and the species grow again. It's a cycle of life. It continues and continues. We have avoided that problem through the domestication of plants and animals. We are allowed to grow and grow and grow. So exponentially that, in fact, since the early 1800s, we have added 6 billion people to this earth. And then estimated in 2050, that's going to be up to 14 billion people. And agriculture cannot support that many people today. We can't do it. It is not possible. You can certainly expect in 2050 that there will be worldwide famine. There will be a broken economy. There will be a fight for that one meal. But I think there is a solution, and that solution is very small. And I think many of you know what it is, and it's a seed. It is a GMO seed, genetically modified organism. Some of you grimaced the idea, and some of you appreciate the idea. And GMO, what is it? It allows you to advance plants and animals to something greater and better. We're able to take characteristics and advance upon them. We're able to make more yields, produce more, and be more economical with it. And from there, the first GMO plant was a tobacco plant in 1983. And it was antibiotic resistant. From there, that kind of led the path, and we brought GMOs to the food industry. And it was the Flavor Saver tomato was the first GMO for food. And you were allowed to harvest the tomatoes, and while they were transported to market, they would ripen slowly so that you would still receive a higher quality fresh product. And then, like Neil Armstrong said, this is one small step for man, this is one giant leap for mankind. That tomato was our very first step. That was a very small step. And now we're able to leap. We're able to do things that we were not able to do before. We were able to face challenges and take them down. For instance, Africa. How many commercials have you seen that they're stricken by poverty, they're stricken by hunger? Well, GMOs have changed them. They're now able to produce drought-resistant crops. And there's a product on GMO shelves called golden rice. And it is white rice that has been gene spliced, which turns it orange to have more vitamin A, which is more nutritious for those people because they simply don't get it. Take, for instance, PED in the past year. That killed millions of hogs, millions and millions of hogs, and it dropped down the supply, not only raised the demand for pork, but the price. But through different sources of breeding and antiviruses, we have been able to overcome that, and that epidemic is now over. But in 2050, there's going to be a problem of land. And that is a giant leap that we're going to have to face. Where are these people going to live? And I said that I live in Indiana, and what do I see the whole time I drive those 6 hours back and forth? Is farmland. it's going to continue to shrink. We're going to have to be able to produce more with less. And that is a problem that we're all going to have to face. So what can you do? I think you need to step back and take a minute and let's appreciate agriculture. Let's celebrate it for its 40 years of advancement. Let's celebrate it for its industrial aspects. Let's congratulate the 2% of people in this nation that are qualified as farmer that feed 98%. That is an amazing number. Let's celebrate the higher yields, the lower use of pesticides. This is how we're going to grow. Then again, you're also going to have to understand. I once listened to a great speaker talk about GMOs, and he said if you are against the use of it, you are literally strangling this world's chances of living. It's not possible. Organic's not going to cut it. Because GMOs are not only plants, livestock, produce. If any of you have diabetes, insulin is a GMO. We no longer have to crush pancreases of cattle and hogs to produce GMO. It's artificially made now. There's so much more in the medical field that involves GMOs, and this is our one solution. This is our key. It's a simple seed. We took that one step to produce that one seed to maybe have that next meal because guess what? We only have one